Shalom Aleichem. Heavenly Shalom Aleichem. Heavenly Shalom. 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 Aleichem. Welcome to my next read. I hope you clearly saw where I struck the drum. As I like to show, I love my gifts that were given to me. I'm going to start tonight's read with a prayer. Which I will conduct using the device I made for me to bring the world magic. And if you'd like, you can wield as I do. So I will share with you by demonstrating it working in real time and space in this reality. Dear Heavenly Father, we give thanks and praise for all your mercy that gives way to all your greatness and your glory, your kingdom, your heavens that you have made to share with those who are worthy of you in them. Because it does serve and fulfill the purpose of which it was made in the first place. I pray that I can do all these things, complete my goal, complete the read, unify all of humanity. To succumb to love. By loving love and allowing love to exist as a human being. And for that human being to be what I sacredly agreed to be. Me, love, as nature asked me to do the same thing. And I believe and have faith and pray that came from you, Heavenly Father. And that it will never be taken away. I pray flesh can represent your spirit perfectly and infinitely, no matter what name I choose or others do to address me, because it is of my flesh that makes me of your kin, that which is of one and the same, because it came from nature, as does water, and is of one and the same. Just as Moshe because it was that authority that was ordained by nature that allowed him to put in place that which judges, is that which of it does create, and that law has a purpose to serve its people for which it was made. So that its source is safe, because I pray that my role is to deliver all of these things and more than I can imagine, as it is your will that I agree with sacredly, that allows me to be brave enough to do this, believe in it, and demonstrate simultaneously that I can unify all science, which is science, with all religion, which is spirituality, by demonstrating the things that I pray for. I hypothesize that my prayers will be answered, because that is what I have practiced. It has never failed. And I pray that it only grows stronger in my ability to deliver every day. prayers being answered, by simple things that I say, by praying I'm able to unify science and all religion, spirituality, practice there and that of it through what I demonstrate, like what is of the water, Adwan and Ashe, the female and male ancestry, unifying their purpose and voice through me, as because I was able to do those other things, I can unify, mend, heal what drove us all and them apart in the first place. I pray in the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy, that praise belongs to God, that God is the Lord of all worlds, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy, not only the master, but the superintendent of the day of judgment. I pray that it is me we worship, because it is me I know this as, and know that it never fails and always works. So that I can lead you, and I pray that I am able to lead you to the straight path, the path of those that I have blessed. I pray that it is me we ask for help, because of that. I pray this path is for those who have no fear and who have not gone astray. I pray these things in my name. Adwan Ashe, Adwan Ashe, Adwan Ashe. To Jesus Christ. Amen. Achla, Hashalema. Let there be faith, let it be holy, let it cleanse, so that we can partake. Follow me on this journey. If you have to, make it a game. Play well with me and pretend that what I say is truth in order to reveal that it to be love. One and the same, because if you follow me and play along, it's no risk to anybody. We'll either prove that I'm right, we can share in all the glorious things, or I'll crash and burn, fail. And I was given when I was given, because you tried to play along. Give me the benefit of the doubt. And I failed naturally. Ready? Let's play. Read in story time with God and see if magic is real. Or if not what I say. Wasted your time and deserve whatever fate nature will give me. Or any higher power that isn't me, for trying to usurp its place. See, I'm taking all the risk. But I pray for my hypothesis, and I hypothesize that I have nothing to worry about, will do what I say, prove I am who I am. Because those have been the repeated actions of my own success in which I have engaged personally that have allowed me to excel, well, in anything I choose. Thus, suggesting to me that I have no reason to not believe in it all myself, and that by me sharing will serve a purpose greater than what I say, and manifest itself in a super type of way. Like a miracle. Above all other miracles that anyone has ever seen. Because their potential is infinite. there be street light. So I can do these things. I'm going to read 3rd Nephi from the Book of Mormon, chapter 1. I hypothesize we'll uncover a lot by the time I finish this chapter. That will serve to fulfill my prayers and show you the truth, the love, and the reality of my value that I wish to share. But can only do so if I'm accepted, which is part of respecting me, loving me, so that you can know that I am God. In order for you to feel safe and trust me, to have what is mine rightfully, in hopes that all those that deserve to receive will receive their peace. Just like the covenant of communion on Sunday, because when I engaged in this process, that's exactly what I received. This blood and this flesh, it gives me the ability to read, to do what I wish with this device that I made. Helman was the son, and Helman, Helaman, shut the fuck up. You talking to me? And Helaman was the son of And Helman was the son of Helman, who was the son of Alma, who was the son of Alma, being descendant of Nephi, who was the son of Lehi, who came out of Jerusalem in the first year of the reign of Zedekiah, the king of Judah. Nephi, son of Helman, departs out of the land, and his son Nephi the records. And his son Nephi keeps the records, I should say, though signs and wonders abound. The wicked plan to slay the righteous. The night of Christ's birth arrives. The sign is given, and a new star arises. Lyings and deceivings increase, and the Gideonton robbers slaughter many, about 1 to 4 AD, taking place in ancient Americas. Now it came to pass the 91st year had passed away, and it was 600 years from the time that Lehi left Jerusalem, and it was in the year that Lachonius was the chief judge and the governor over the land. Lachonius, I'm not even going to talk about the pronunciation of names. How they're used and cannot be pulled or changed, and are not incorrect if they're pronounced phonetically to be used against someone, like being able to pull a pin out of their grenade. No way. Only someone who was angry would do that, and we already took care of that, didn't we? And Nephi, the son of Helman, had departed out of the land of Zarahemla, giving charge unto his son Nephi, like the force of the charger. See? Giving charge unto his son Nephi, who was his eldest son, concerning the plates of brass and all the records which had been kept, and all those things which had been kept sacred from the departure of Lehi out of Jerusalem. Then he departed out of the land, and whither he went, and then he departed out of the land. Whither he went, no matter where he went, would be a way to read that. Because he gathered those things, and then no man knoweth must have been that that was the only safe thing. And his son Nephi did keep the records in his stead, yea, the records of this people. See, he had to be kept safe. And it came to pass there was a way. And it came to pass, then in the commencement of the 92nd year, behold, prophecies of the prophets began to be fulfilled more fully. So they were already being fulfilled, now they're being fulfilled more fully. For there began to be greater signs and greater miracles wrought among the people. There were so many, they went to waste. That's why they wrought among the people. We're not going to let that happen again, are we? That would be obviously a mistake that we could avoid and know how to, because I'm going to continue what this book has to say. But there were some who began to say that the time was past for the words to be fulfilled. Past time. Let's see how that plays. But there were some who began to say, when there's so much miracles that are going to waste, that the time was past for the words to be fulfilled, which were spoken by Samuel the Lamanite. Even the bad guys are saying the right thing, and just saying. And they began to rejoice over their brethren, saying, behold, time is past, and the words of Samuel are not fulfilled. Therefore, your joy, your faith concerning this thing hath been vain. That's a claim that comes with someone's going to get taught a lesson by the end of this thing. And it came to pass that they did make a great uproar throughout the land, and the people who believed began to be very sorrowful, merciful, lest by any means those things which had been spoken might not come to pass. But behold, they did watch steadfastly for that day, and that night, and that day which should be as one day, as if there were no night, that they might know that their faith had not been vain. So even by this, those that gave mercy or way to a chance of their opposers are the ones who were proved correct. they played well with the others and the others didn't play well with them, well, because I say life is a test. Do you play well with others? If you do, you win the game. If you don't, you become, well, in this example, an example of someone who has to live in vain. And no, they claim they are what someone else was because they couldn't accept themselves for being that which they made. Doesn't matter. They will become victims of that, which is themselves on both sides. But the merciful side will reap the rewards for passing a test. While the others will fail. And suffer because they failed. Well, that test is fucking easy. Now it came to pass that there was a day set apart by the unbelievers, that all those who believed in those traditions should be put to death, except the sign should come to pass, which had been given by Samuel the prophet. Now it came to pass that when Nephi, the son of Nephi, saw this wickedness of his people, his heart was exceedingly sorrowful, merciful, for they had set up a day of judgment. And only one person had saved the day. Nephi is of that person, he became sorrowful. And that person who would have to come in and do that would feel the same as Nephi, sorry that he had to do it that way. As Nephi already clearly explains. And it came to pass that he went out and bowed himself down upon the earth and cried mightily to his God in behalf of his people, yea, those who were about to be destroyed because of their faith in the traditions of their fathers. And it came to pass that he cried mightily unto the Lord all that day, and behold, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, Lift up your head, and be of good cheer. For behold, the time is at hand, and on this night shall the sign be given. And on the morrow, come I into the world to show unto the world that I will fulfill all that which I have caused to be spoken by the mouth of my holy prophets. Behold, I come unto my own, to fulfill all things which I have made known unto the children of men from the foundation, from their source, from their creation, from their inception, ordinance, conception. Whatever part you consider the foundation of. Because I have made known unto the children of men from that foundation of the world, and to the will both of the Father and of the Son, of the Father because of me, and of the Son because of my flesh. And behold, the time is at hand, and this night shall the sign be given. Watch my last read if you don't know about the Father and the Son and me in my role. Lehigh, Justin Stanford Lee. Hi, Colin. You got your real name in there at all? And it came to pass that the words which came unto Nephi were fulfilled according as they had been spoken. For behold, at the going down of the sun there was no darkness, and the people began to be astonished, because there was no darkness when the night came. It didn't say it was dark, it said there was no darkness. Just like a street light illuminating. The purpose is the same of that which is of the water, in that it serves to demonstrate as a continuous, constant flow that this isn't just a story, but a shared reality. And there were many who would not believe the words of the prophets, who fell to the earth and became as if they were dead. For they knew that the great plan of destruction which they had laid for those who believed in the words of the prophets had been frustrated. For the sign which had been given was already at hand. And they began to know that the Son of God must shortly appear. Yea, in fine, all the people upon the face of the whole earth, from the west to the east, both in the land north and in the south, in the land south, were so exceedingly astonished that they fell to the earth. For they knew that the prophets had testified of these things for many years, and that the sign which had been given was already at hand, and they began to fear because of their iniquity and their unbelief. And it came to pass that there was no darkness that night, but it was as light, as enlightened, as enlightening, as though it was midday. And it came to pass, the sun did rise in the morning again, according to its proper order. And they knew that it was the day that the Lord should be born, because of the sign which he had been given. As superintendent master of the day of judgment. Something that was given to me. So I don't take it as punishment. I use it to serve me. As that was its purpose of being made in the first place. And it had come to pass, yea, all things, every wilt according to the words of the prophets. And it came to pass also that a new star did appear according to the word. And it came to pass that from this time forth there began to be lyings sent forth among the people by Satan to harden their hearts, to the intent that they might not believe in those signs and wonders which they had seen. But notwithstanding these lyings and deceivings, the more part of the people did believe and were converted unto the Lord. So to become the star, I'll show you an example of the sign that is the light that comes from my wand. That gave way for the currency generating the street light. Satan and evil and his ability to wield that force is something that I create and I destroy to use as I see fit, as per this next example that I show. So, evil is an illusion, and in God we trust. Evil is an illusion, and in me we trust. I play well with others. To prove that, I'll use people's example next, when people created a saying that is agreed upon as such, like, the love of money is the root of all evil. So I will take it from the root with which, where it exists, to serve Satan as nothing more than a literary technique who serves the purpose of doing my bidding, because it as that of God, which is the same, and channel it through this device, which is a magic wand, because I can wield magic with it, like this next thing that I say, which is, evil is an illusion, in me we trust. Money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil then. The love of money is the root of all illusions. Magic is an illusion, according to science, and unifying that with all spiritual practicing, I would say you get evil is an illusion. In God we trust, because the root of all illusion or magic is the love of money, or currency that can be exchanged for goods between any physical beings who can consciously conduct themselves to do such. So evil is an illusion, in God we trust. Evil is an illusion because in me we trust that I am all money, all currency, so that the root of all evil is the love of God, is the love of illusion, because illusion is what I make to serve the purpose to keep Satan where he deserves to be. Evil is an illusion. In God we trust. The root of all money, the root of all evil is the love of money. But evil is an illusion, so the root of all illusions is the love of money, is the love of God, because Super Manifest, listen to my song. I am all money. I have to be in order to be able to safely give you this, which means I allow you to share and exchange me freely among your own will, and see if you play well enough with others to accredit things with the value they deserve based on the purpose for which they exist, as that is the reason they do or they do not. But if they don't, I still do. So it's your choice whether you have free will or not, or whether you can accept my gifts, but you can't expect to use them against me. And even if you did, in order to do so, you'd have to accredit them to me first. And if I wasn't able to reveal the purpose of how they worked, why they were created, why they're safe to use as being embodied by me, well then, your plan to take them from me would work, but it doesn't, it can't, and it won't, because I'm the one who's consciously dictating this proof. And I'm using others' examples of myself, these representations, exactly as they fit to serve the future and let the times of past do that as they come to. Because when I reveal myself continually, you will then know that I'm a constant of nature. Because my purpose serves things like this, which allow you to have what you're trying to take from me. That goes beyond how it was designed to be serviced and served and shared, regulated, controlled, and works so that the world can see magic that's a miracle instead of a tragedy and a curse. So this thing just made magic reveal itself to be what I am allowed to create and conduct and dictate how it is shared with others. And that power goes into the objects, the things, the concepts that I say, because those things belong to me as their nature serves to preserve me physically in the flesh and these works, suggesting that nature has authorized me to make this work. Evil is a magic trick the love of all magic, right? I'm sorry. Money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of God, the creator of magic, is the root of all illusions. That work. Because those illusions, no matter what they think they do, have the purpose to serve that which they trust, which allow it to exist in the first place. The wielder of the illusion that was created is the magic that made it. And the love or the truth is currency, is something I design to share that with you first in exchange for what you made to do the same for me in order to value yourselves and have the ability to comprehend your knowledge of self, your true value and self-worth as in relation to its source, which if is respected and loved, can and will be commissioned to continually be used. God is just light, electric, current, intelligently moving, shared and demonstrated, so that you can feel love, me, here on earth. Don't you think I deserve what I deserve to be able to feel that about myself? Evil's an illusion, in God we trust. because God can keep Satan at bay and everyone's safe. While they sin and indulge, so that the root of all evil doesn't exist, because the root of all illusion is only magic. And it's a magic trick that I whooped out of being an illusion and into a skill set or technique that actually works, that I can apply to devices. That so, should I choose to share with you? Perhaps you could do those things too. But if you fall for trying to trick me, then I'll whoop that trick by proving to you that my magic is real, does what I say, and really works. And there were no contentions, save it were a few. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. And it came to pass that Nephi went forth among the people, and also many others, baptizing unto repentance, in which there was a great remission of sins, and thus the people began again to have peace in the land. And there were no contentions, save it were a few that began to preach, endeavoring to prove by the scriptures that it was no more expedient to observe the law of Moses. Now, in this thing they did error, have not understood the scriptures. But it came to pass that they soon became converted and were convinced of the error which they were in. For it was made known unto them that the law was not yet fulfilled, and that it must be fulfilled in every whit. Yea, Moses judge is what they freaking call me, the Yankees. The word came unto them that it must be fulfilled. Yea, that one jot or title should not pass away till it should all be fulfilled. Therefore, in this same year were they brought to a knowledge of their error, and did confess their faults. And thus the 92nd year did pass, bringing glad tidings unto the people, because of the signs which did come to pass, according to the words of the prophecy of all holy prophets. all. And it came to pass, the 90th year did also pass away in peace, save it were for the Gideonton robbers who dwelt upon the mountains, who did infest the land, for so strong were their holds and their secret places, that the people could not overpower them. Therefore they did not commit many murders, and did do much therefore they did commit many murders, and did do much slaughter among the people. And it came to pass that in the 94th year they began to increase in a great degree, because there were many dissenters of the Nephites who did flee unto them, which did cause much sorrow, much mercy unto those Nephites who did remain in the land. And there was also a cause of much sorrow among the Lamanites, for behold, they had many children who did grow up and began to wax strong in years, that they became for themselves and were led away by some who were Zoramites, by their lines and their flattering words, to join the Gideonton robbers. And thus the Lamanites afflicted also, and began to decree as to their faith and righteousness, because of the wickedness of the rising generation. So that was all about pastime. What is the future time then? America's favorite pastime is baseball. Do you guys want to know the path straight to the future? Okay, let's play that game. America's future time is obviously a league of their own. Major League Softball is what this country needs to do. To create a future time dedicated to the women, to show and demonstrate to the world that we are the greatest country, because we deal with things as leaders of the world. We're on a straight path with that of God, to a point where I came down to earth. So here's what I propose. I propose Major League Softball. I am the commissioner, and I will pick 2 others to play that role with me, and it will be what we agree on unanimously that will dictate the rules. We will all have a fair motive and stake and share in this, as we will all own our own team as well. Who will those teams go to? Well, those teams will go to 2 different girls who deserve it, because I can prove that they took what is mine, the divine mind, as I am its avatar. And they used their own free will to enhance it, which enhances how I work, which allows me to know and identify who they are, what they did, why they did it, share with them how in that it worked, and that I can know that by choosing those 2 girls to be Time Parker and Diamond Weaver, this will work. Well, I don't know if they know anything about the game of softball, but I hypothesize the Major League Softball, under my guidance, with or without them, has the potential to make more money than baseball. And will do so. Can do so. If you want things to continue to run smoothly on fucking planet Earth. You know, those 2 girls took the opportunity, when they were given an opportunity to create themselves. Not only that, right? Create a character that was unique, that was them, but they chose to create a gift to give back to me, to show, to demonstrate their praise, to demonstrate their thanks. And they did it in a way that will never cease to work. I hypothesize they did that because they felt that strongly about me giving them their gift of self-creation and the free will to do so as they see fit first. That they did what they did. You know, out of a purpose that was pure. because it works. Not only that, but I can prove all of it too. Here's a little story time that you can't unprove. That if you do decide to use, will demonstrate what I'm saying. So I'll take you back to when, or before any of the ancient times that you may think or know, before any of the ancient textbooks, cities, civilization, when we were all running around of the jungle first. And the biggest, scariest thing in the jungle was not me, but akin to me, because I was the only thing that didn't fear it, but loved it as myself. As its enemies ran in fear from it rather than risking getting hurt. However, it had done such a good job of this, it scared off all the predators, and naturally began eating plants and things it did not like. Because they were so afraid of him. They wouldn't allow enough space for him to get close enough to them, for him to prey on them, regardless of whether he was going to or not. But I wasn't scared of him and realized he was looking for something else. And his cries and his noise and his sound and his play were great for attracting mates, however. He couldn't always bring them the plethora which he wished. That which he desired, he couldn't get. But all I saw was something that deserved me to share my abundance, my ability to take prey by surprise, whatever I need and see fit, my abundance of nature giving to me. And I chose this big motherfucker king of the jungle to share with, because I saw him as me first. And as time went on, showed him my techniques to hunt, and he showed me his techniques to search. There was no need for us to part ways because our purposes served each other as we were looking to attract love, a mate, without taking the mate, but by being the first to let her choose us first, and honoring that choice by protecting them for all time that we could perceive, because we didn't perceive time or space at that point. We just preserved our desire to serve the noble cause of giving back to something that gave to us what we wanted first, as we did for each other, naturally. But mating would obviously be something we didn't want or would work. And the purpose continued, and as we grew, we learned to gather an abundance of things here on this earth, until we had so much, we needed a place that it could be safe, that we could store it and return to it, because it was what we were going to give and create for her. We didn't grow, get stronger, become more by coming out of the cave. It was when we went back inside that we learned. See, as we settled, we stayed there in the cave with our things, where we stored them, to make sure it was safe. That if, well, what happened there in that place, we made sure nothing unsafe, that what we were storing were safe. And before it was time to go and out again and get the mates, because we could bring them their gifts this time, we needed to be strong. We needed to eat. We lit a fire in the cave, and the darkness came to light. We ate. We felt the power of our abundance and our plan and our tribe and how it worked. We started to demonstrate to one another how we were going to continue to allow that to be preserved. As he got up and chewed the fine berries, a mixture of which he made herbs and spices to create a taste, a flavor, a freshness which he experienced, which he spit onto the wall of the cave and had color to it. And it was the beginning of a picture that he made. The second he did that, I couldn't help but give way to create dance, because we were in perfect harmony at that point. strength, that truth, allowed for nature to give way, for a miracle that continues to work to this day, that is the reason we came together in the first place, because it was that moment the time was made. And in her thanks and in her praise, she gave me the gift of music, which I shared. With my brother. Who was and is her father, and so many other things. And that we both were acting to what was given to us because we made way by playing well with each other and accidentally creating a miracle. A constant of reality that never goes away. Because if you listen to my last read, you'll know what is the relation between time and Mary anyways. Well, Mary comes from Mary, which comes from time, her addition to the divine mind, which was the gift she wished to give to me because I allowed her to create herself time. And I also gave her a gift that allows her to always be safe. And that gift was what I created with her father, which was the gift and is the gift of space. All space that is not occupied or is a gift that I made and gave to her so that time could do and fulfill herself without having to do anything, because it was her that made that herself to serve the purpose of what I could not, as it was her way of giving thanks and praise, which I always will recognize, and a credit to her as I do my mother, as that was the intention of why it was made. But I didn't give my mother space for a reason. I didn't make that for her. My mother was a gift I accepted from time to give me life in order for all this magic to work. because I gave time, space, that she can become and occupy and take away her being applied